Hi, so I went to the garden centre the other week and I was really struck by how plants have changed a lot in price recently, and I can only think, basically there was plants that I was watching people haul about a year ago and they were costing an absolute fortune, and it's just so interesting to me that I can now go to the garden centre and buy like something like a Monstera Silted Picana for like 30 quid, and people were like, this is so rare 30 years ago. And I don't know whether this was coming anyway or whether like YouTube's influence has influenced it, or even just because I wasn't in the plant care space and now I am, I'm more aware of it. It just seems like, oh, am I so sweaty already? Gross. I'm absolutely loving this like two-tone room. People are like, just paint it. There's so much more needs doing than just painting it that I almost can't be bothered. I want the whole place replastered, so I'm just going to show you some pictures of the plants that I saw that were just interesting. So the garden centre I go to, I am lucky, I've got a really good one near me. Well, it's like an hour away. They do like baby plants. They had a baby Verrucosum for like under £10, which is just madness. I remember seeing Verrucosum for like 200 quid. They were probably more than that before you could get them in shops. So if you had to like go and source one, I don't know how much people would pay for them like 2 years ago. If somebody knows, like let me know if you bought one. Don't mean to make you feel bad, but... And then they came into shops and they were like 200 quid. And then I saw one for 30 and it was reduced, and I was like, oh my God, snapped it up. And now you can get small ones for like a tenner. That's just mad. So yeah, there's also some plants that I've just not seen, and there was one that I saw it and I was like, what is that? So the first one is called a Philodendron Body, and I'll put it on the screen. It looks like if somebody got like a Philodendron tortum and like just a regular like green imperial philodendron and just like put them together. This was £125. I've never seen or heard of it before, but that isn't unusual. Like in plant shops, I think all the different garden like plant shop suppliers, like the nurseries, have different common names for plants, so I think often they just give them like a random name. Did I say it was 125? I just thought it was really cool. This next one is a Monstera Accuminata, 30 quid, 29.99. This is like if you wanted a Monstera Adansonii, but you're like, not enough holes. There's just more. Now this is another one that there is every chance this is exactly the same plant as a Monstera Adansonii. It's obviously not an obliqua because it's just happy as Larry in... I mean, it's not humid in the garden centre, but it's not the levels of humidity that an obliqua would need. That's another interesting one. So when I first got into plant care, the hashtag "it's never an obliqua" was, you know, people saying, is this an obliqua? No, it's not an Adansonii. It's never an obliqua. If you're going to buy an obliqua, you would know about it. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy to get an obliqua, but it's a lot easier than it used to be. Silted Picana, I can't even remember how much they were when I first like got into the plant care space, but it was certainly a plant that I wouldn't... I think they're beautiful. As I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh yeah. But I'm really sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. I've got my iPad on my knee. This was like 25 quid. Literally, oh, it's 24.99. That's just mad. Another one is Alocasia Dragon Scale. I didn't take any pictures because they're so common now, but they were like so out of reach and now they are literally 15 quid. It is madness. So this is a regular Monstera. I think it's interesting like judging the prices, like not judging, but like a lot of people will buy like a small Monstera for it seems to be most common in America for like $100 and be like, did I get a good deal? And people are like, no. But obviously it will, America is a very big place. It will depend a lot on where you live. This is a medium size Monstera and it's $29.99. They have a bigger one, like a massive one. Do I have it? For $225. But she's a big girl. She's huge. So if you're like looking just at how much longer it would take to grow that you're probably just paying for like the care of it. Got a big Philodendron Pink Princess. I didn't see how much that was. Why am I like this? I must have done. It's a video. Maybe oh yes, I did. 250. Seriously, it's so hot. I'm so hot. Can't leave my hair alone either. And this is the Varicosum for $8.99. They also have baby, like, white wizards, white knights, all of those. They've had the baby pink princesses for quite a long time. I think they're about 15 quid. This is my new dream plant. I've gotten really into rubber plants because they're just easy to care for. They don't really care if they dry out. They have the potential to grow really big, but they don't do it quickly. I tried to notch mine. I think I filmed it. No, I didn't film it. I tried to notch it, but you have to hold the notch open with a toothpick or something. Otherwise it'll just like heal. And I didn't do that. So it has like heal. I think it's completely healed. I can't see where I notched it at all. But what I did do was chopped off the new growth. So it would put new growth on the bottom, and it didn't, but it has branched at the top, which I'm quite glad of. This is a Ficus Moonshine and it's $89.99. Now considered I got my Tineke? Is that what they're called? For $2.99. I'm simply not prepared to pay £90 for a rubber plant. I'll just look at it. Every time I go in the shop I go, ooh. And I will hope in 2 years' time. Because that's the kind of plant I think it'll look really cool. I think that one will stay popular for a long time. Just because rubber plants have always been, what am I trying to say? Basically everybody loves them, whether you're into houseplants or not. They're quite a good like structural decor piece, and they're not that fussed about light and stuff, and they're quite hard to kill. So I'm hoping that will come down in price as demand rises and supply increases. We have another philodendron, a bit like the is it Bobchi? Philodendron Cinderella. It has the same, this is more towards the tortum end of the scale. It has the like fingers. I just think it's really cool. It's not as delicate as a tortum, but I quite like a bold plant. $16.99, nice. A lot cheaper, I prefer it to the Bobchi and it's a lot cheaper. That's what we like. Now this next one is a Billietier. Now I remember, I love how I was supposed to go for the video of the Billietier, but I just got massively like distracted by all the other amazing plants around there. So the Billietier, is that what it's called? Doesn't matter. So I remember when Kaylee Helen used to get these ages ago, and I remember thinking, she never used to say how much they cost, which I understand. But I remember thinking, like, how much has she paid for that? Because to me, that very much, if you like that kind of plant, cool. That very much just looks like a plant. I get that it's got orange petioles, but I'm colourblind. So if I tell myself that the petioles are orange, my brain can convince myself that they are, because my brain lies to me about colours. I can just kind of convince myself, so that's just never something I would go for. Now this, when I remember she was having them about 2 years ago, and it's just come into the shops now and it's $99.99. God knows how much she was paying back then. So in the background of that video there was a Philodendron Pariso. Is it I'll put the name on the screen. Why is it taking me so long to say that? That's £285. It is a big plant and it is stunning, and I believe the variegation is stable on them, which I think makes them a little bit more expensive. That isn't true. That's not true. It just makes it more worth it for us. Still not going to buy one. Pretty. Philodendron Gloriosum. These were another one which were really, really expensive and now almost like common. This was 125. It's a big plant. It's a big plant. God, I would have all of those. Aren't they beautiful? This. What even is this? It's called a flying squid Alocasia. £115. It's not got any leaves. Like, those aren't leaves. Florida Ghosts are maintaining their price. I do like a Florida Ghost. I've got a Florida Green, which to me, that's fine. Like, the Florida Green was 15 quid. It was mislabeled, but it was not a lot. And they've got baby Florida Greens for like a £5. I wouldn't be paying an extra £100 for a plant that had a bit of a white on it. I love them, but I'm tight. This is an Atabapoemsi. Again, another one that I remember Katie Ellen hauling. And I think, how much is that? 235 quid. I get a lot, the long plants, the long skinny ones are really popular. I'm just not seeing it. I've got, I can't even remember what it's called. Basically the cheap version of those. What's it called? I don't keep it in big enough light. Big enough light? You know what I mean? Oh, I've repotted it. No, I haven't. Burley Marks. I should have known that. Loads of plants called Burley Marks. I love this plant only because it has it, rather than growing like one good leaf, it's like I'm just gonna grow a million at once. And I'm like, cool, go for it. There's always like new growth coming. I think it's probably about 30 plants in one. I should separate it, but I like it. Good on there. I just think it's interesting when like trends, people really get into trends. It was variegation, and I think variegation is still popular. Like, I think it's the stages we go through when we get into plant care. So we start off with variegation, then we go into calathea, then we're like, absolutely not. Then we get into philodendron because they're easy to care for, and then we go into like, might even go into anthuriums because we think they're hard to care for, but actually most of them are pretty chill. And then you end up, sometimes you go full circle like me, and you end up with like your rubber plants and your pothos because you're like, they won't die when I go away. This plant I just really like. I really like peperomia. I know a lot of some people struggle with them, but they're actually quite hard to kill. They're a little bit like calathea. The leaves are difficult to keep alive, but the roots tend to endure. But this, doesn't it look, if you took a close-up of that leaf and sent it to somebody and were like, this is an anthurium, they'd believe you, right? I mean, I'm not a botanist, and I'm not like an expert in types, because I just go, oh, that's cool, and like, rather than be like a collector of a certain genus. But how cool is that? It's almost like a little dupe. Right, we've got a Ring of Fire, $29.99. Now, Ring of Fire used to be cheap. Then, was it Ring of Fire that got really expensive, or was it the Caramel Marble? I think they're the same plant with different variegation, I believe. I think they're all the narrow one. My narrow goes through phases of like being just like so chill and then just completely losing all its leaves. We've got one here. I really need to look after you more. We've got Jose Bono for 185. Now I think that's like, I think the Paradiso one was, is that 285? You've got to see, you can see the leaf next to it. I prefer the other one because it's got more marbly variegation. This one's got more sectorial variegation, and it also looks like the variegation is getting less as it gets older. It looks like it's getting less speckly and more sectorial, which a lot of people prefer, so this is really just a preference thing. No, that's all of them. Well, I have designs on doing this in a really cool edited way, but I'll probably get bored and not. So I apologise if there's a lot of this. I just thought they were really cool plants. I really like that Peperomia sarcophila. I just thought it looked really cool. I was like, it kind of looks like a watermelon one. No, it doesn't, you're a liar. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this was vaguely enjoyable, a little look around our garden centre. It's a really good one, but it's really sad. They've had to lock up some of their expensive plants in the cabinet because people think it's okay to go around and take cuttings. How weird is that? I wouldn't, even if I saw like a broken bit on the floor, I would say something, I think. I like to think I would. Would I? Depending on what it was. No, I would. I certainly wouldn't go around with my scissors and nicking bits. That's just the gumption of people. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you would happily take cuttings in a plant shop. It would be like eating the food in like a supermarket. Just go around eating the grapes. It's mad. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.